And we are back. Pokemon Infinite Fusion, Hardcore Nuzlocke. The run continues. We are making our way to the second gym here, but first we stop into Route 24 to secure yet another first encounter. We've lost two along the way, but we get the Weedle here, and we already have a Hoo-Oo in the back that we've been saving for that next encounter. So we're gonna go ahead and splice these two together and see what this is going to create here. Maybe a poison flying, maybe a normal poison. There it is. So we have flying poison or bug flying actually, and you get to pick the combination here, and it's going to look either pretty cool or pretty terrifying. It usually ends up as one or the other, and that is interesting. I like the Who eyes still pop. It doesn't look as deformed as the Eevee Fearow, so we will take that, and we have another fusion on the team. So, I'm just doing my thing. I'm just leveling up the team, getting ready for Misty in that level 22 level cap. So I just keep taking on this guy. You can do repeat trainers. You don't even need the Versus Seeker. So I just keep spamming. He's just got the Rattata. It's easy XP. And oh my gosh, after beating him a few times, he goes ahead and upgrades into the Raticate. This big boy is so scary. And I was like, oh, that's even more XP. I wasn't even thinking about what's about to happen here, and Eero takes care of the big boy Raticate, no problem. However, I'm like, let's get the rest of the squad up to level 22, and he's got the big boy Raticate ready to go. Level 20, looking absolutely terrifying, does a ton of damage with Bite into a Hyper Fang upon the flinch, and Toronto, our starter, gets absolutely slammed. On top of that, I didn't heal our Fearow combination, and now we are absolutely in trouble. Butterino is about to overlevel for the gym. As you can see, he has 1,000 points to go, but also he's going to get bodied upon getting swapped in because it's not even the Nidoking yet. So we have a choice to make here. Do we send out Butterino or the newly acquired Hoot Drill? And we are just going all in here. And the Bite comes down, does massive damage, can potentially two-shot us. And we are going to go all in here, potentially with the Twin Needle, hoping for oh no, we get flinch and the pursuit comes down and Hoot Drill dies. That is the third casualty of the run. So we go in for the Sleep Powder. The Hyper Fang comes down and we miss, but we land the Sleep Powder on the second turn. We can drop back with potentially a double kick that is super effective. Raticate is still asleep. We get 2 hits, which is amazing, but it wakes up and gets a Bite, and we lose 2 fusions for absolutely nothing. The King Rat drops back, takes everything, and now we're on our way to Misty. The only plus side is you can only use 2 Pokemon against Misty anyway, so I had no business training against the King Rat himself there. It was absolutely an absolute debacle, but the Jiggle Dean or the Jiggly Dean comes down. Misty's first Pokemon here, Eero popping off with its adaptability. We two-shot, we fade away with the crit there, and then Audie comes down, the Oddish Staryu, and gets absolutely pummeled by our Fearow Eevee amalgamation. We take the second gym badge. We're down to 2 fusions, so we're gonna need some more team members. For our Route 5 first encounter, it's going to be the Meowth with Technician, so its small damaging moves are going to get some nice double damage on top. We will absolutely take that. And then we go ahead and secure a Bellsprout next up here, and it's going to form with the Meowth, which is going to turn into some really awkward typings with Grass Normal and Normal Poison. So I'm not too big of a fan of this. However, we're going to splash them together anyway, and that is hideous. Next up on the menu is going to be a Drowsy found in Route 11 here, right next to Vermilion City. Drop back with the Pokeball and secure it. Then we pop into Diglett's Cave, and guess what? We catch a Diglett. So we're going to pair these two guys together, and that's going to turn into a tiny little Drowsy sticking out of the ground named Drowlet here. And I don't think that's a very good pairing either, but you know what? We'll take another team member. And then in Vermilion City, you can smash some rocks with Rock Smash here. We drop back with the Pokeball and secure a Geodude. We then get the evolution on Meowth and Bellsprout into the Weepinbell, and it's looking a little bit better, but that still looks really ridiculous to me. But we are dropping back. That Technician is really nice, given those 60 power moves, getting that nice buff there. And on top of that, we do have a really nice speed stat, so the typing might not be great, but we're doing pretty well here against some of the Sailors on the SS Ant, and we definitely take that. That leads us to our rival fight on the SSN here. This is the second attempt, and the Nidato comes down here. The Nidorino and the Pidgeotto. We're going to answer with Eero here, Arfiro, and Eevee. And again, that adaptability. So Aerial Ace is doing double damage on top of stab, which is just beautiful, and it only takes 2, and the Rhino falls. That leads to Warsaw here, the War Turtle and Ivysaur combination, but that also gets deleted. On top of that, Manacate comes down and gets absolutely sent to the Shadow Realm as well. Eero is definitely coming out of his own here, and the Starabra, the Staryu and Kadabra gets deleted. This is all Eero. He looks absolutely insane and scary, but he is doing work. As we clear out the gym on our way to Lieutenant Surge, we get the Drowlet upgrade here in the Drow Trio. So now there's not one little Drowsy poking his head out of the ground. There are 3. And that means it's time to take on Lieutenant Surge himself, and we send out our newly acquired Drow Trio, get a little forewarned to scout out what's going on. Volpe gets dropped into the red, gets a nice bubble across the battlefield, but that is no problem. We are faster. We're going to lean in with another stab. Bulldoze doing tons of damage, and another Super Potion comes down. Lieutenant Surge not wanting to lose its Electrical Crab here, but we fade away on the Crab. Volpe goes down, and Piccolit comes down, a little Pikachu Diglett combo, it looks like, and that gets deleted into next year. The final Pokemon is going to be the Rybuzz here, the Electabuzz Raichu combination with a really nice quick attack. We tank that, we fall to 8 HP, but we get a fade away Bulldoze crit. Beautiful stuff. Lieutenant Surge forks over the 3rd gym badge. We then head back to Pewter City, and we go to the Fossil Maker here. We go ahead and get our Kabuto and form it with our Graveler that has upgraded from the Geodude. So we get a double rock combination there, and we end up with a battle armor. Not too shabby. For our Route 9 first encounter, it's going to be the electric type Pokeball here in the Voltorb. We're going to drop back with the Pokeball and secure it, and then we're going to find out what this Voltorb is going to be DNA spliced with in just a moment. And it's going to be the Ekans found on Route 10 here, so it's probably going to be a Poison Electric, maybe get a little electrical snake on there. Let's see what that looks like. Yep, it goes from a little Pokeball colored snake here into the really big snake himself here, and there it is. Voltans evolves into Voltbog. Look at that. On top of that, we get the Purbell here, which is the Persian and Weepinbell combination. And again, with that Technician, we get some really nice damage off of those 60 power moves. And we got the Swift, we got the Bite, we got the Water Pulse. And she is basically sweeping all these hikers on our way to Rock Tunnel here. So we will take it. That leads us to our Rock Tunnel first encounter. It's not the Machop, it's not an Onix, it's actually a Mankey. So we drop back with the Pokeball and secure it. And as we're making our way through Rock Tunnel, we run into this guy, and he gives us a Hone Edge, so we get the Ghost Steel type, and it's going to be in the PC for now, but I'm very excited to fuse that with our next Pokemon, which is going to be the Mankey. So we're going to get a Fighting Steel type a la Lucario here, and that looks absolutely sick. Honky comes down. I'm very interested to see what the final evolution of that will look like. But for the time being, we do get the level 28 upgrade with the Primeape evolution, and that is also looking pretty sick. And that also means it's time for our Dro Trio to upgrade into the Hip Trio. So now we have 3 tiny little Hypnos popping out of the ground. It's now time for another rival fight here. This time in Lavender Town, his Nidato leads the charge here. Poison Flying, a very cool looking middle evolution. We answer with our Purbell. We drop back with a Stab Swift, get Whirlwinded to the back though, and Kabooler comes down. We've got our Rock Water typing, I believe. We also have Battle Armor for our passive. The Twister comes down. We tank that, no problem. Drop back with the Smackdown, and we take out our rival's first Pokemon. The Starbra comes down next very fast with that Psychic typing as well. Disable, holding us at bay. So we are going to pivot into another Pokemon here. We go in for the Hip Trio, who's very fast for himself as well. The Camouflage comes down, isn't going to do too much as we drop back with a Stab Bulldoze and take down the second Pokemon. The third is going to be the big Gyarados. The Intimidate comes down, but we are still at a level advantage in this fight since the rival is holding out on us in that regard. And we're just going to swap into Purbell, it looks like. Get our ugly cat in there, combined with the Blossom, I'm kidding, with the Weepinbell. We get the Sleep Powder down, no problem. Get a nice Stab Swift in there, and maybe 2 will do the trick. A Super Potion comes down, healing the Sea Leviathan back to full HP. We get a nice Bite on top as well. Gyarados still sleeping. The Super Potion comes in. Once again, another Bite. Drop back and give me it. Gyarados drops, and that only leaves Warsaw Warsorp, the starter Pokemon, the Protect comes down, holding the rival alive for just a moment. The Razor Leaf does no damage as we drop back with another Swift, and the rival is defeated. We then run over to Route 8 for our next first encounter, and it's going to be the Snubble here. We get the Intimidate on her as well, drop back with the Pokeball, and secure it. And then for Route 7 first encounter, it's going to be the Growlithe. So we're going to end up with a Fire Fairy typing in the Snubble and Growlithe combination here. We're going to fuse these bad boys together and see what we get. What are we working with? Both kind of dog Pokemon, and there it is. A very disgruntled Snubbleth right here, a puppy fairy Pokemon. We will absolutely take that, and we get the Intimidate. Let's go. All right, now that we have access to the department store, we get some leaf stones and fire stones, and that means it is time for the final evolution of Purrrell here. We're going to get the Victory Bell Persian combination, and there it is. Looks like a ham sandwich. Purrrell is upgraded, good to go, and you get Leaf Tornado upon evolving as well. My gosh. But what about the Growlithe upgrade here? What about the Growlithe turning into the Arcanine Grumble? And there it is, the mighty steed with a very angry face, but we still get that fairy fire typing. We then get the gifted Eevee at the top of the building in Celadon here, so I'm very eager to see what we end up fusing this evolution with. We are going back to back with Erica in the sewers here, trying to take on Team Rocket, but first we got to secure this Muck encounter, and Greninine almost goes down, gets poisoned by the Wild Muck, and I think that is a close enough call for us to call this video. As always, thank you so much for your time. I really do appreciate it, and I will catch you on the flip. Peace.